kadalas iniisip ang football? Probably too much if you're like us, right? Ano ang hinahanap, pinapanood nyo kapag naaalala nyo ang football? So, where do you get your football? It's more of the questions of the day, but you get the gist, right? We want to hear from you. You get a feeler of how much football plays, a factor in your life and in your mind space. And how do you quench that thirst, so to speak? And that's what we're trying to get a gauge on. So while Claro's having a look at the responses, I'm going to start with Diego. I'm going to jump to you, Claro. What are your answers to these questions?
Well, where do I get my football? The answer is I'm very thankful that we are in the part of the year where all the seasons in any part of the world are starting or have already started.
Right.
So obviously we have the PFL, and I think I try to watch all the games. If I can't, I try to watch the highlights, which you guys should also watch on our YouTube channel.
That's right.
But when I'm not watching PFL, there's other leagues in the Philippines. There's Angliga, there's UAP, which just started also.
That's right.
And then when it's night, obviously, and there are no games in the Philippines, I try to watch as much Premier League as possible. I also try to
You're
watch...
Chelsea fan, no?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, no. Well, I watched the game last weekend. I was really not happy about that game. And yeah, but other than the Premier League, I also try to watch the J League because, like the PFL, they also stream all their games for free on YouTube.
Nice.
Which you can also watch, and Japan's much more time zone friendly for a Filipino fan. So I also watch a lot of Asian football. But other than that, in general, whenever there's a football game on TV or on my laptop and it's free, I'll watch it. I don't care what league it is as long as it's a nice game.
Right. Diego, consuming a lot of football, buddy. Well done. Claro?
Let's give a comment here, I will say. I think Martini said, I play Football Manager pag off-season ng PFL. That's pretty cool. Mamaya maging scout siya ng for PFL team or...
Who is this?
Whoever. This is Martini Luini.
Oh, kala ko si Martini Ray.
Oh.
Kala ko the player.
That guy hits the gym in the off-season for sure, Martini Ray. Nang kaya. Yeah, shout out to Luis Manabat. Yeah, he's just been commenting, man.
Luis.
He didn't really answer the question. He just said he wants a Cebu jersey.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
But what is your answer to this, Claro?
Wow, for me, so pretty much, I just consume PFL during the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say. But when it is international break, I'll put in that extra effort. I'm going to be at the stadium to watch our men's national team or even the women's team. I'm going to watch that game in detail. I'm going to shut everything off. And I'm gonna watch that game, of course. Close. That's as close as it gets to like being in commentary mode. But it's just me watching the game, of course. I'll watch it live at the stadium. I get home, I'm gonna watch it again, the replay.
Wow.
On demand. Yeah. And that's gonna be international break, right? So particularly with the men's international break, I'm gonna try and check on our ASEAN neighbors. I'm gonna see, are they gonna play against big names? Yeah. And see how they're doing, of course, because after all, we got to be the best in the region first before we just hopefully conquer Asia.
Right.
Pretty much what I do, yeah.
Right. For me, thanks for asking, guys.
I mean, you run the show, Jing.
Don't worry about it. I'm going to go ahead and answer. Football really does consume a lot of my headspace, and a lot of that has to do with, obviously, our league here. It's been my life for a very long time, and it still occupies a lot of thought in terms of how teams are progressing, how could they be better, how are we doing regionally, and what is necessary for us to bridge the gap and things of that nature. And if I have that football fix, then we do have at our fingertips now everything that you want to watch. You want to watch a game back fully, you want to just watch the highlights, you want to just scope out how a particular player played. You could reach out to one of their analysts if you're lucky and get like clips that are made specifically for just a particular player. It's great, that we have all of this access. And other than that, though, it's Manchester United for me. That I watch that, and because I'm a glutton for misery. Right? Feel the pain, and then from time to time you get drip fed with a win against Chelsea, and you're like, guys, this is it. But then next week, it's probably going to be pain all over again, but it is.
ASEAN All-Stars, let's go.
What it is.
I know it's been a while, but that's a good win for ASEAN.
All right, so shout out to Calvasef, Bisdux, Ruff, Dave, Martini Luini, and Luis. Thank you guys for commenting and always interacting with us here on the Minsan Football Show and all of the matches as well. We appreciate you guys so much. So this weekend's matchups, all games will be live streamed at youtube.com/WeArePFL. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified when the games are on. We've got 3 matches on Saturday. As usual, it's becoming a habit now, right? We know a triple header on a Saturday, on a Sunday, we've got a double header. And we've got, to start things off, Don Bosco Garelli, trying to ramp up their season up against Maharlika FC. That's a match that could be very interesting. We've got Army back in action against Aguilas, who are still looking for their first goal. Manila Digger versus Wantagig. That is going to be the blockbuster for Saturday evening. On Sunday, we've got Kaya FC taking on Cebu FC. Ooh-wee.
Another big one.
Ooh-wee. Tuloy FC taking on Stallion Laguna at 7 p.m. A very intriguing matchup on Sunday. Let's start off with Saturday's matches. Don Bosco Garelli contra Maharlika FC. I'm going to start with Claro this time around. What are your thoughts heading into this contest?
Bounce back day. Yeah, simple as this. You want to play catch up already, and this is the perfect time, of course. Both teams, maybe Maharlika, the more positive team, bouncing off what Jago said. Yes, Maharlika won a game already, but they conceded goals. They lost the game, but they got to score goals. So at least there's something for them that they could take away. There's that promising play. Let the few weeks go by, right? And I'm sure they're embracing the new system that they have with their coach. So I think this is the prime opportunity for them. Garelli maybe 3-0. So baka gigil pa yung mga boys for Garelli. So this might just favor Maharlika, and this will be their chance, you think, to climb the ladder. But never count out Garelli. Yeah.
One aspect that we have to consider, sarado na yung transfer window. So this is it, right? We're talking about getting a gauge of these teams. These are the squads that we're going to have until the start of the new year. So, Diego, your thoughts on Don Bosco Garelli taking on Maharlika?
Yeah, as Clara said, it's time for them, or it's the opportunity for them to bounce back. Again, they did make a few signings before the deadline shut, and we'll see who those are before this game starts. I think for Don Bosco, it's going to be a bit of a challenge because Maharlika do score goals. They do score goals, but what they can exploit in this game is Maharlika do concede goals as well. They conceded twice against Tuloy and then 3 against Manila Digger. And for them, it's going to be a chance. Maybe 3 points is a lot to ask for, but maybe you could sneak in a draw somewhere, get your points of the season, get your first goal of the season actually. So I think there's enough room for uncertainty in this game for Don Bosco Garelli to actually think that they can get something.
Right. So, not one way or the other, not very clear, right? For you, Clara, you think Maharlika might have the edge, but we're expecting a tight match in that one. And if you want to get a gauge of the two teams, definitely a match to look out for, right? Are these two teams going to be, on the bottom half, or is Maharlika actually going to take a crack at the top 6 as is their goal for this season, right? Now at 5:45, you have Army versus Aguilas. Philippine Army, we've raved about them. They have not gotten any results, but we've seen a huge improvement from them. Now we're up against an Aguilas side na medyo wild card. Hindi natin sigurado kung ano yung makikita natin. They were pretty impressive against Kaya. They struggled against in their last outing against Wantagig, and they haven't scored any goals, right? So what are the expectations heading into this match between Army and Aguilas?
So these are two teams that lost their first 2 and haven't scored. So thankfully for one of those teams, that record is gonna end, or maybe both if it ends in a draw. But
0-0, no lungkot. Lungkot para sa lahat.
That's what everyone's gonna say after the game if it happens.
okay, well I hope that doesn't happen. But yeah, again, Army did have actually a week off. So maybe they're a bit more rested than Aguilas, but again, it's not too much of a break because not too much of a factor because Aguilas will also get a 1-week break. For Aguilas naman, this has to be where they get off because to lose or not win your first 3 games would be a really nightmarish start. For Army, there's enough uncertainty also in this Aguilas team for them to say that maybe we can get something here. Because as we saw in the past 2 weeks, Aguilas, especially against Puantegig, they were dominated. And there's might just be a little bit of uncertainty and a little bit of low morale in that Aguilas side for anyone else, including Army, to take advantage of.
Kumbaga, if there was a time to face them, now would be a good time, where Aguilas are kind of a wounded animal. Your thoughts on this?
It could work both ways. One could be, hey, we're going up against a team, Army. They've conceded a lot of goals already. Let's go. They could have that psychological, you don't say advantage, but they're locked in. They're hungry. Or you could go, hey, going back, right? Also what you said and what I mentioned. Oh no, guys, we haven't scored in 180 minutes. We haven't scored in 2 games. Now's the time. And then while you're doing that, you're overeager. You're not really going through the motions. You know, so you're getting anxious. You're pressuring yourself, and then it's becoming that mental game. So that's the worst case scenario, I think, for Aguilas. And then with Army, as we know, the underdog. What if they spring up a surprise with this? Hey guys, we kind of have nothing to lose here, and let's knock Aguilas out of their game. Let's be physical. Yeah.
You know, I don't think Army are all that well rested. They're well rested from PFL action, but I believe they were in action in the Armed Forces Olympics. Now, I think that is the case. I think September 18, around that, was when they went back into action. So I'm thinking, or sometime in midweek, no? So I'm thinking they might be, you know, not completely fresh, but you never know. They might be flying high if they had done well in the Olympics. But definitely a game to keep an eye on, because Army could pour on the misery of Aguilas, or this could be the start of Aguilas' climb. You never know. 5:45, check it out. Rizal Memorial Stadium.
Sorry, can I add something with Army? One thing is, let's remember, of course, they're servicemen. So I do recall them saying in Copa, I don't remember if it was Coach Boogie who said, they still do their usual duties. So these guys are putting in a shift. They do their work. Then after, that's when they play football.
Yeah.
But these guys are really, really fit, right? So they're fresh when they still show up for the games. But
shout out to Boogie Margarsi, by the way, who is
legend,
seasoned as seasoned veterans come, but still quality, real quality on the pitch whenever he's out there. So.
Good evening, football fans. Welcome back to our triple header Saturday here in Rizal Memorial Stadium. My name is Vinny Vinculado, alongside Diego Cordero, bringing you our second game of the day. It's match number 14. You have Philippine Army FC versus Aguilas UMAK FC. And Diego, let me tell you, earlier this afternoon, we saw Don Bosco Garelli United face off against Maharlika, and Maharlika just snatched a win. And you can see here as a weather, it's pretty cool. Perfect time to play football, right? But right now, the match at hand, it's again Army versus UMAK matchup between. I guess both teams are very new. They have to gel a bit. So let me know your thoughts, Diego, on this upcoming matchup.
Yeah, well, this matchup is between the bottom two of the PFL as the standings currently are. These are two teams that lost their first 2 games, and these are 2 teams that have actually yet to score a goal in the PFL. So there's going to be a lot of eagerness from both sides to break those records. And I'd like to think that we'll see a very even and intense game because of that eagerness to break their bad starts.
And as mentioned, Diego, these 2 teams, starting off first with Aguilas, you did mention that they lost in their previous 2 matches. And just looking at the lineup here now, they do have a revamped squad, so new players coming into Aguilas. as well as Philippine Army here.
Yeah, well, Army, as you did mention, need to gel a little bit. Again, they weren't in the PFL last season, so they took that break. And because of that, they are maybe not as at the same level of the other teams. There we saw the 2 losses, the 12-0 loss on the opening day to Kaya, and then a disappointing 1-0 loss to Valenzuela PB Menjola. You would have said, if you were Army, that could have been a game where you win, and you would have wanted to win that game, because if you look at their run of fixtures following this one, it's really tough. You have Aguilas, Wantagig, Maharlika, then Stallions. So if you're Army, you need to start getting up and getting those points, because the table is going to be very harsh if you don't get any points when you can.
And look, you can look at the lineup here for Philippine Army. You do have the couple suspects. So you do have Carl Jupiter Viray between the posts, Palacio on the center back, and Roy Kent Bedia in the midfield. So of course, Roy Kent Bedia, I've seen his couple of matches before. He is a good midfielder. He does spray those passes, those crucial through passes to get the attack going here. And we'll see if Philippine Army can hold their ground against Aguilas UMAK FC.
Yeah, if Army get anything out of today's game, Roy Kent Bedia is going to be a crucial part of that. Him and John Celis of that midfield of Army, it's going to be very important that if they get anything, even a point from this match, they need to have really good performances. And they're up against a tough opponent, so it's up to them, with their experience and with their years of playing football in the Philippines, it's up to them to guide the rest of their team towards a good performance today. And I think in a bit we'll hear from the coach of Philippine Army.
So, last game namin is yung plan namin nung last game, nakukuha naman namin. Yung naging problema lang is hindi nagpabor sa amin yung panahon. So, ganun talaga. Predictable talaga yung football. So, lahat naman pinapakita ng player, lahat para lang manalo din. Pero, hopefully, sungkit kami ngayon ng panalo.
With that said, you have head coach Chris Mark Nanyola, who just mentioned that they want to snatch a win today. But looking over the other side, you have UMAK Aguilas FC. Diego, a very interesting lineup. You have a lot of fresh faces from their recent fixture against Menjola. So what do we have to look forward here in terms of their lineup, in terms of the way they play under their new head coach, right? Jörg Peter Steinbrunner.
Yeah, it's a rotated squad today, so they played a stronger 11 in their first 2 games, and then for this match, it looks like they're going to be playing the players that haven't played much yet. But it's a chance for those players on the bench to show that they actually have a case to be starting in the bigger games, like they didn't in their first 2 games. Again, UMAK, Aguilas, they didn't have a good start to the season so far, because in their first 2 games, granted it's tough opponents, they lost those 2 games and didn't score a single goal in those 2 games. That was to Kaya, a tight 1-0 loss. There you see it on your screen. And then last week, a disappointing 3-0 defeat to Wantagig Football Club, and made even more disappointing by the fact that they actually missed a penalty in that game, so that could have changed things. For Aguilas UMAK, it has to be today where they get their first 3 points of the season.
Definitely, I think this is a very crucial game for Aguilas UMAK FC to win if they want to make it to the upper half of the table, and hopefully this new fresh faces brings on their A game against Philippine Army to get their 3 points. So you do have here a couple of new faces. You have Brian Jeffrey Palpalatok and Talarok, who also played last game. Pickering, Charles Simon Pickering, and midfields Jomaray Sapal, Ibrahim Adamu, and the others.
Yeah, and among that midfield, it's going to be Diego Aspiras, who we've marked as the player to watch for this game. Again, Filipino football fans will be familiar with Diego Aspiras because he has already played in the PFL. Last season, he had 2 PFL stints. The first coming with Manila Digger, then the second coming with the Philippine Youth National Team, which is now no longer in the PFL. And then he actually played a little bit abroad in Spain in one of the lower divisions. So he has been playing a lot of football lately. He is definitely a talented player. He says his idol in football is Sergio Busquets, so we'll get to see that when he plays in that anchor midfield role today. And he will definitely need to have a good performance because he is one of the players who didn't start in the first 2 games. And of course, you want to make a case to start for the next big games. And I think in a bit also we're going to hear from the coaching staff of Aguilas UMAK.
Well, every game we always want to go for the win, so we'll play the same today and follow our tactical plan and hopefully get the win.
So as mentioned there by Luis Miguel Ataide, they fine-tuned, trained for this match and hopefully get their first 3 points and the first goal of their season. So again, both Philippine Army and Aguilas UMAK FC do not have any goals yet. And with that, we'd also want to plug in the Minsan Football Show every Wednesday, Diego.
Yeah, every Wednesday before the weekend where there's a PFL game, we have the Minsan Football Show. It's a podcast, lasts about 1 hour, and it's usually on the Upstream Sports TV YouTube channel. Again, keep using the hashtag WeArePFL also for those who are watching the stream on their socials. And yeah, exciting. We're about to get kickoff soon. Again, the 2 teams about to get ready to march out. Again, we've said it time and time again, but these are 2 teams that really need to get points because I think they're the only 2 teams on 0. And because of the format also of the table, you want to get as much points as possible because there are 3 rounds in this format. Again, every point matters.
Definitely, Diego. And especially for Aguilas UMAK FC, they've had a lot of changes. They have a new head coach. They've recruited international players. You have players like Nathaniel Alan Hancock, who's been crucial for Aguilas UMAK. So, you know, with all of these changes, you'd expect them to have positive results in their performances. It has been a bit rocky the first 2 matches, but again, they do want to bounce back here. So with that said, let's move with the march-in. Again, if you are just tuning in, my name is Vinny Vincolado with Diego Cordero. At Match at Hand, we have on your screens Philippine Army FC wearing their all-white jersey against Aguilas UMAK FC. So you have here our match officials Chris Mark Nanyolo, the main referee. Assistant referee sila Angelo Pagkalinawan, and Hussein Magusara. The fourth official, Aldous Mirafuentes. Referee assessor Ariel Montaña, and match commissioner Karin Ann Kaliway.
Yes, kickoff fast approaching here at the historic Rizal Memorial Stadium. Interesting to note, there's no coach York for Aguilas UMAK today, so we'll see how that affects the game. But either way, it's going to be the chance for these two teams to finally get up and running this PFL season.
Just to share as well, again, you have Philippine Army, who is currently goalless. It was a difficult start for them, losing. They're still looking for that first 3 points. And you also have here on the other side, Aguilas UMAK FC. Similar situation with Philippine Army, actually losing their first 2 games as well. You have here fresh players, a lot of players to showcase their talent onto the pitch today.
Yeah, both teams scoreless and having conceded quite a number of goals. For Army, they have a negative goal difference of -13. That is not ideal after only 2 games. For Aguilas UMAK naman, that goal difference is at -4, which is also not ideal for a big team, because if you're a big team and you want to finish high up in the table, your goal difference has to be positive, and Aguilas UMAK haven't been able to achieve that as we approach kickoff. Let's see which record is improved today.
Definitely, and on paper, of course, it is in favor of Aguilas UMAK FC to win this game, but don't take anything away from Philippine Army. Of course, they are still a team to beat. They might just have an upset here against Aguilas, so we'll see before we start in this match. We are moments away. The referee has blown it, so it is Aguilas UMAK FC playing from right to left in their blue and red jersey, and you have Philippine Army FC playing from left to right. They're all white jersey.
I'm just gonna say it now before the game gets intense. I really like the jersey of Aguilas UMAK. I must say, it is a really nice kit, and I might get my hands on those.
Definitely, I do love the pattern that they have. So you may take a look at it and definitely support this. That's a way to support local football here in the Philippines. And as you can see here, Aguilas UMAK FC sends it long on the left side, hoping to get the gears running. Just overcooked that, looking for Isa Diallo there, left forward. And as you'd expect, Aguilas UMAK FC are pressing a very high line and want to score as fast as possible to get a lead in here.
And that's twice now that they've looked for Isa Diallo, so clearly one of their outlets for this game.
And Philippine Army having a difficult time until a clearance there from the captain, Jenmar Cortez. And when it comes to the Philippine Army, it is expected that it will be a physical match. But a chance here. Thinks about crossing it, but didn't. Papalatok, the dangerous area. Aguilas UMAK FC pressing high, bringing the fight to the men in white.
Yeah, this is good possession from Aguilas. They've controlled the game in these opening minutes.
Oh, great work there, the left side, but too much traffic for Isa Diallo. And as of now, Diego, it's that left side that has been dangerous.
Yeah, that's now 3 times where Isa Diallo has been the one causing the attacks for Aguilas UMAK. Clearly, the player to watch out for if you're Philippine Army, and the right back of Army is going to have to be careful for the rest of the match, because Diallo, Isa Diallo that is, because there are 2 on the pitch. Isa Diallo looks to be an energetic winger.
Yes, you do have 2 Diallos. You have Isa Diallo and Bubakar Diallo. So for those who are tuning in, maybe on the other side, Aguilas.
It's a very mid-block from Army. They're just staying compact. Let's see if they can keep that resoluteness.
trying to have some sort of a build-up play there between Diallo and Palpalatok and Almazuri. And this is expected for Aguilas. They will keep most of the possession in this match. And Philippine Army will have to do their best to not concede a goal. But a chance here! A dangerous cross in the middle. Great opportunity there for Aguilas. And a player is already down from a Philippine Army. That is Quezon Jumawan.
Once again, it's Isa Diallo who's being the target for Aguilas UMAK's attacks. Saw it there, and there's another outlet for Aguilas UMAK because they do also have a height advantage over Philippine Army. So it looks like they'll also try to target those aerial targets when they're in their final third.
Definitely, Philippine Army should do their best on the set pieces that Aguilas might have in store for them. Can hear Diallo, the left side with Palpalatok. Partners in crime. Good passing there. Just tried to feed Almazuri in the middle. Couldn't connect. Great pressure here from Aguilas. Army force at the corner until it's finally cleared.
Yeah, this is a good start from Aguilas in these opening 5 minutes. They've controlled most of the possession, and they've just forced Army back into their own defensive third. And you do have to imagine that for a majority of this game, this will be the scenario that is laid out in front of us.
Throw in here, the other side of the field. Will he get it? He does. You can see here Palpalatok and Aspiras asking for the ball, but a great through. Great save there from Viray out of his penalty box. Dangerous through ball there.
Yeah, there we saw it again. For those of you who missed Army's first 2 games this season, they are a team that play an offside trap, and that's quite rare in the PFL. So we see it here again today. This time it was beaten by Adamo, and there's actually a foul here.
And we do have an early yellow card from John Celis. We'll take a look at the replay there, and it is Palpalatok who's down.
Not ideal if you're an Army player to get a yellow card just 6 minutes in, because you're gonna have to play the rest of this game with that yellow card. Let's see how it happened here. It was clearly an off-the-ball collision, and the yellow card, I must say, is a bit warranted there. Just 6 minutes in, and already a robust collision there that was completely not related to the flight of the ball.
Definitely, you see an arm outstretched there from John Celis. And you can see Palpalatok arguing to the referee. Could have been a red card. You can see there,
Yeah, Palpalatok is saying that he got elbowed. Whether or not the referee agrees, only those in the pitch will know. He's still speaking to the referee.
But play goes on here. Free kick in the dangerous area. Couldn't get it. Medilla feeds it on his left side. But Aguilas will be more than happy to keep possession of the ball.
Aguilas down to 10 at the moment, but that's not stopping them from going forward.
And a chance here. Ooh, another collision there. Second foul, I think, the early moments of this game. And a chance here maybe from the set piece, the far side of the field, Aguilas.
Yeah, we did mention there is a height advantage for Aguilas UMAK FC, and in these scenarios, these types of set pieces, this is where they can take advantage of that. And Palpalatok is also not yet back on the pitch. He's still talking to the referee about that earlier collision as this free kick is coming in. He's back on now.
It's back on, ready to play again. And it is Ruben Thiran behind the ball. And Aguilas defense will line up for this one. Maybe could get a head in. Get that first goal of the season. That's another foul. This is the third foul for Army. That was a difficult challenge.
Well, just 8 minutes in already, a lot of fouls from the white shirts, and this time it's on Diego Asperas. I must say, good footwork from Diego Asperas to evade that challenge, but the collision, definitely a foul.
Definitely a late challenge there from Jimwell Ariola. Tsaka he was guilty. He raised his hand there. And another set piece opportunity for Aguilas UMAK FC.
If you're Army, you might want to lessen these free kicks, because the more you give away, the more chances that is for your opposition. This time it will be number 19, si Adamo, to take this one. Or is that number 18? That's Boubacar Diallo, rather.
Standing menacingly behind the ball. Looks like he's gonna go direct, but we'll see. Referee blows the whistle. He does take it direct, just off target.
Yeah, I think he went for the Roberto Carlos there. Similar distance, tried to whip it around the wall, but couldn't get it the way he wanted. So that's a goal kick to Army.
Aguilas, the high press. It is out for a throw in. High pressure paid off. A chance. Who just tries to get it through. Palpalatok.
Yeah, I think if you're Army, might need to slow this game down a little bit, because I don't think their forwards have touched the ball yet. So there's definitely a lot of pressure coming from Aguila. It's up to Army now how they respond.
Moving forward here, Army just possession once more.
Interesting to see here. Army's back line is actually camped on the halfway line. This is their offside trap in action. Let's see if it's beaten.
A great pass there from Nagao.
Mangawang, I believe it's pronounced. He is one of their debutants, formerly a DLSU Green Booter, and played in the UAAP, now making his way to professional football.
And it is a foul given. And it's been a very tough, very physical moments. First 11 minutes of this match. We haven't seen that much build-up play. And both teams are still trying to settle in. Sends it forward. Viray.
Yeah, Army having to deal with a lot of aerial duels in this game, and so far they've all been won by Aguilas UMAK, as we see Diego Asperas on the ball, just asking his team to calm down a little bit. There we see diagonal. And Diego Asperas actually not happy that his team went long there. I think he wanted that ball to his feet. And that is the type of player he is, which is why we've marked him as one of the players to watch. He wants the ball to feet, and he wants to control the game.
They would want to be more patient in their build-up play. Look for the open man, small pockets of spaces to create chances. And that's the quality that we're expecting here from Aguilas. Asperas in the middle, too strong of a touch, but he still gets it. Maybe they tried here at the left side. Palpalatok. Positive play here. Aguilas just couldn't connect again to Diallo. But out-muscled. Great chance here. And it's a goal! A beautiful shot from jersey number 19, Ibrahim Adamo, I think. It's 1-0. Aguilas UMAK FC lead the 12th minute of this game.
Yeah, well, we pointed out that a lot of the attacks so far have come from Issa Diallo, and he works the cross there. I thought it was a lost ball, but he kept it in. And Diallo's cross, but I must mention that Carl Jupiter Viray, the goalkeeper of Army, will not want to watch this back because he punched the first one, and he couldn't catch this one. And because he couldn't catch it, he was away from his goal line, and then a shot from there, there's absolutely no chance for any of the defenders there.
You could see Viray furious at the referee saying he was pushed, I think. You could see the challenge here. I don't think it was a push.
Yeah,
Called there from the referee.
if you're goalkeeper Viray, you will not want to watch that back because I think that might have just been the problem there in that play.
Just like that, Aguilas is leading this game. Philippine Army will have to crawl their way back to this match.
Yeah, and I think that's also now the first goal that Aguilas UMAK FC have scored this season. So that privilege is Ibrahim Adamus. He has scored his team's first goal in this PFL. And finally, for Aguilas UMAK FC, they break their duck.
And they're eager to score more here. Aguilas, the right side. Thinks about crossing it, but passes it to Asperas. A chance here again at the left side. He delivered, thinks about it, takes it direct. Great block there from Quezon Jumuan.
Yeah, Palpalato, he is a right-footed player, so when he is in that scenario, he always wants to cut in on his stronger foot. And he was given a lot of space there, so when you're given that much space and you're that close to the penalty area, a shot is always on. Army might just be a little bit concerned at their marking because it's just 15 minutes in and a lot of openings have already been created for Aguilas UMAK FC.
And the fouls that they committed also contributed to the set piece opportunities for Aguilas UMAK. And we have a corner kick here from Ravin Thiran. We'll see if the height advantage will be capitalized upon on Aguilas. The middle, just couldn't get it. Maybe on the break here, Army. Falls to Palacio. Great pressure there. Out for a goal kick.
Yeah, our Army just haven't settled into this matchup yet. 15 minutes in, it's been dictated fully by Aguilas UMAK FC. I don't think goalkeeper Mangawang has even had to make any defensive contributions yet for his team because such is the pressure that is being put on Army.
Speaking of that, pressure has been given there from Aguilas, but too much pressure. They committed a foul.
Well, Coach Yorg is not on the dugout for Aguilas UMAK FC today, but I would imagine that wherever he is watching this game, he is happy with the start that his team has made. I think it's actually Technical Director Kim, who's already a familiar figure to the PFL, who's on the dugout at the moment for Aguilas UMAK FC, although we will confirm that later on.
Of course, this is an opportunity for Aguilas to play some of their players. Again, this is not their usual first 11. So I think these players has the opportunity to shine in matches like this. If you're from Aguilas, to make a name for yourself and put on a performance.
Yeah, just as you were saying that, again, this is one of the games where you would favor Aguilas to get 3 points, which is probably why they have changed up their starting 11. And again, rotation is important in this league format. There are a lot of games, so you need to use your full squad. And their next game is actually against Maharlika, who are on good form. So I think Coach York and the rest of the Aguilas coaching staff have realized that we need to use the whole squad this season, and that's why they've rotated heavily tonight. But so far, it doesn't look like a rotated squad because of the way they've started. I think the only holdover from the previous matches is Palpalatok and Talarok, so it's a very heavily rotated team, but nonetheless, good start from Aguilas.
Yes, it is 1-0. Most of the possession has been from Aguilas. And as you mentioned, Diego, no attacking threat yet from Philippine Army. Most of the ball is in Philippine Army's half. Great move there from Diallo. Tries to put it in the box, but just way off target there. Philippine Army playing it fast from Viray. Did he get through? Is that a nutmeg? Pushing forward here, Aguilas. A lot of pressure there, heavy traffic, but good job from Adamu.
The Army just can't get out at the moment. This is really good from Aguilas. Just losing or keeping possession, and whenever they lose it, they win it back instantly.
But a chance here on the counter. Army takes it. Great shot there from Jimuel Ariola. Finally, they have opportunity on the attacking end. But this is where Army could definitely break. They can hit Aguilas on the counter.
Well, that's definitely the blueprint, no? So I think they've already conceded the fact that they won't dominate possession and play will be mostly in their half, but they have to hit on the break. And to be fair to them, that was a promising opportunity. That's their first shot at any level in this game. Mangawang wasn't tested, but they'll hope to test him on the next one.
Ooh, great acrobatics there to clear that one out.
Yeah, one for the cameras, that one.
Quad cam maybe. But Asperas here. Aguilas more than happy to keep possession. Dominate this game. Great move there. Tries to feed it through. But Viray was out and alert to get that one.
Yeah, better moment there from Viray following his error in the opening goal. That will just give him a little bit more confidence again.
Great pass there. An opportunity for Aguilas. Right side. Get past the men in white. And it's a foul given here, Diego. A dangerous, dangerous spot just outside the box.
Well, yet again, another set piece conceded from Army FC. And this one is the closest so far, I believe. And this one's going to be a very dangerous shooting territory for Aguilas. Army want to be careful here.
We might see just a direct effort from this set piece, and that is the foul there. Diallo was brought down, got through 2 to 3 players from Army, earning his team very dangerous free kick.
Yeah, Isa Diallo started the game at left wing, now playing as a right winger, still causing problems for the Army defense wherever he is. And yeah, if this free kick amounts to anything, he will get the credit for having won the foul.
You have Bray here, making sure his wall is prepared for this free kick. Will we see a direct shot here, Diego? No power there, but very accurate. Jersey number 9, Vintiran.
Yeah, went for accuracy rather than power. I think that was actually closer than we realized, but the reaction of Viray, I think he knew that was going out before the ball crossed the goal line. And Army a bit lucky there that they escaped without getting tested there.
Viray sends it long.
And just on Army,
Maybe a chance here. Great save there from the keeper. Just kicks it out of the dangerous area. Army again. As we mentioned, it's these counter-attacks Philippine Army is capitalizing on.
a first defensive involvement there from Eriko Mangawang. Not with his hands, but with his feet rather. That's good sweeper-keeper action. He was alert because he hasn't done anything so far, and he was called to action there. But as I was saying, with Army, I think a lot of Philippine football fans don't actually know that despite their name, they are enlisted servicemen, so they are part of the armed forces. Football is secondary to that duty. So I think we have to give them credit also, despite any results they have in the PFL, because they are soldiers first and foremost, and after that they're footballers.
Definitely have to give credit for serving our country, and they still also play football here. That's very good from them. But you have Aguilas here on the counter though. And a chance here. Will he take it? In the box, Aspiras asking for it. A header. Another opportunity there again for Aguilas. Finally clears it out. Philippine Army holding on as Aguilas is putting so much pressure on them. Great pass there from Pat Palatok. He's asking the ball back. Great 1-2. The dangerous area. Will he hit it? Too strong of a cross. Danger not over. Chance here once more. And a foul to put off the pressure from Philippine Army. What a sequence of events there.
Yeah, a lot of pressure coming from Aguilas. They are getting really close to that second goal. And if you're Army, you might be a little bit worried because you're doing so much defending, but going forward, you don't have a lot of outlets to relieve pressure. I guess one way you could do that is by winning fouls constantly, but it is a lot of one-way action at the moment, I must say.
See here, Army trying to keep possession more. Passing it around. Switches it over to Crazon. Finding his midfield. Tried to be cheeky there, but just couldn't get it. Feeds Ruben Siran. And another foul here. And a card even. Yes, it is the second yellow card for this match, Diego.
Yeah, again, just 25 minutes in, you already have a defender and I believe a midfielder on a yellow card. Not ideal because it gets you closer to getting a red in this game. Here's the foul just outside the penalty area. I must say that is very risky because you're not too far from the penalty line, and I think the rule is if you commit the foul right above the penalty line, it's a penalty. This one barely outside, so very lucky there from number 2, si Jumawan, that wasn't just a few inches in the penalty area, but he does deserve that yellow card because it was a reckless challenge. And yet again, it's another set-piece opportunity for Aguilas. I wonder if a shot is on actually here, but you would say that the cross is the better option.
That is true. I do remember a World Cup goal taken away from here, Tony Cruz. So we'll see. But again, regarding Army, they've had dangerous fouls committed. One just outside the top of the box, one here. Will he go direct? He does! Spilled at the keeper, Viray. Great save nonetheless. Floats it in. A header, but safely at the arms of Carl Jupiter Viray. Another dangerous play there from Aguilas.
Yeah, you mentioned the Tony Cruz free kick in the 2018 World Cup. I think that was what he had in mind there because he went for goal from a tight angle. Not quite Tony Cruz, but he did get it on target, and that was another test for the goalkeeper Viray.
Viray was up to it. Does not want to concede any more goals in this game. We do hope that we see some attacking play from Army, and good play there from 99, Decena. Switches it over, just couldn't find his right wing, Palacio.
Yeah, Army just unable to get the ball to their final third. That is where they're lacking at the moment, as we see Aspiras again. Look at the possession stats, fully in favor of Aguilas. They have another chance here.
A chance here at the left side. Aguilas, will he take it? He does, but another save here for Carl Jupiter Viray. It was Ruben Siran, took that one, taking his chances.
Yeah, the shot was on there. Unfortunately, just couldn't get it either side of the goalkeeper. But as we were seeing, the possession stats heavily in favor of Aguilas UMAK. No surprise though at the specific numbers because that's what we can see on the pitch.
And we have a foul committed here. And another yellow card into this match. I think this is the third one in total. 2 for Philippine Army, 1 for Aguilas UMAK FC.
Yeah, and get this, that's a yellow card to Aguilas UMAK, and that makes their 13th, unlucky number 13 yellow cards for Aguilas UMAK in their opening 3 games. Not ideal if you're Aguilas UMAK to concede so many yellow cards in one season. They've already done 13 in the opening 3 matches. I do wonder if it will accumulate later on in the season.
Hopefully not. You do not want yellow cards in your name. Ooh. What a try there from Bedia.
Yeah, good from Palpalato. He was aware of that attack from Army. He had a player outside of him, and that's good play from the fullback.
Aguilas. 30 minutes in. They are in the lead.
Yeah, looking like a 2-6 from Aguilas, a formation that allows them to heavily overload the backline of Army. That's why they can just so easily find their way into the final third.
1. It's not that busy as of the moment. Army. Tough challenge there. No foul committed, but very physical.
Yeah, I'm just watching the Aguilas backline here. They have no attackers to deal with at the moment. That's how low Army are at the moment. And yeah, it's been quite easy for them, I must say, in these opening 30 minutes. That's better from Army, actually. Can they beat the pressure here?
They're trying to, definitely. Bedia here, looking up, looking for an open man, just couldn't find anyone. Forcing the pass back. Recycle the play all the way to the keeper, Viray.
There's an Army player down, actually, on the near side, so they have called a substitution. And not ideal if you're Army because you're going to burn a substitution window this early.
And chance here, actually, for Aguila. Opportunity just outside the box. That is jersey number 26, Al Mashuri, off target. And this is the player down, as Diego mentioned, Quezon Jumawan.
Yeah, Army, they're nearly taking advantage of the fact that they were number extra for that play because Jumawan went down really early and he has already signaled to his bench that he needs to go off. So Army will already use up one substitution this early on. Not ideal to have a substitution this early.
And we do have the substitution, as mentioned. Jersey number 23, you have Nestorio Margaris Jr. Substituting Quezon Jumawan. And again, Quezon Jumawan did get that yellow card early into this match. Substitute with the ball, right into the fray.
Yeah, if you're Army, you want to avoid injuries as much as possible. Not ideal that they've had the player injured this early on. And yeah, you want to avoid injuries because their fixture list is getting really tough from here. Their next game is against One Taguig, so it's not a good time to pick up any injuries. Well, it's never a good time to pick up any injuries. And I'm just seeing here that Jumawan is actually going to be stretchered off, so we do wish him a speedy recovery.
Indeed. And Diego, speaking of One Taguig, they have a match later on against Manila Digger.
Wow.
So do stay tuned for that. That's definitely an exciting one.
Yeah, second versus third. That is going to be a firecracker of a match later on tonight.
So for those tuning in, do stay later. I think that's around 8:30, if I'm not mistaken. And And use the hashtag We Are PFL, and a chance here. Another diving save from Carl Jupiter Viray. And Aguilas looking for a 2-goal cushion.
Yeah, that play all started from Diego Asperas. He picked up the ball from his center backs, and he's really good at this. I've noticed he's really good at scanning and finding open space, and he picked up the ball and then within 3 touches sent it to the final third. That's what he brings to this Aguilas team, and because of that play from Diego Asperas, they win a corner and could have actually scored from the chance there.
And they still do have another chance here. Diego whips it in. We see a header. Ball still the dangerous area, but a chance here for Army on the counter. Aguilas tracking back. Opportunity at the left side. Just couldn't give it to Bedia. And a chance here. Counter on a counter. Aguilas. Will he make it? He does. Great move here. Diallo looking for an open man. Takes it. Palatok shoots that one. Danger not over. Diving header away from another opportunity there from Aguilas. That was jersey number 19, Ibrahim Adamu. Tried to slot it in the right side of the goal, just inches wide.
Yeah, he had a free header there, absolutely unmarked in the 6-yard box. I think if he gets a similar opportunity, he'll take it next time. I think when he watches that back, he'll be wondering how he didn't get it on target at least. And actually not ideal for Army. They have another player down. He's back up on his feet, but you want to avoid injuries as much as possible in the first half. But again, going back to that chance for Adamu, would have thought that from that distance he would have gotten it on target at least. It's another let-off for Army, and they need to stop giving away these chances if they're going to take anything from this game.
And you have here Army trying to make it to the other side of the pitch. Still have possession. Good signs from them. No foul, but it goes on. Not enough for Bismarck Nanyola.
The Army bench was absolutely furious at that non-call.
And now you could see a bit of passing from the men in white. Good signs here. Feeds it to the midfield. Bedia. Still in possession. Tries to feed it long, but Palpalatok was there.
Yeah, good intervention there from Palpalatok, because again, he had the player in behind him, and that's not the first time he's done a similar interception. So good performance so far from Palpalatok. Nice footwork there.
Left side. Playing maybe a 1-2. He does. Gets it through. Will he take it? No. Thinks about it. Finds a man in the middle. And I think it was deflected off from a defender, earning Aguilas a corner kick.
Yeah, good movement from Jomar Sapal to crash the box and get on the end of that move. I think that was actually a really good chance for Aguilas to take another shot on target, but in the end they get a corner from it. Let's see if they can take advantage of this one.
You have 2 players there at the corner. Is it short? Tries to do a bit of Neymar there at the left side.
Yeah, a little bit of Joga Bonito there, but didn't pull it off because the ball went out. It was impressive though, I must say.
If he did pull it off, would be a good piece of move there for Al Mashuri.
Yeah, mama-viral ta sana.
Sa TikTok.
And speaking of TikTok, please do follow the PFL's TikTok page. That's _WeArePFL_. And yeah, do follow it because there are plans also to go live on TikTok for the future games. But I think before we go live there, we need more followers. So yeah, I encourage all the viewers right now to follow the PFL's TikTok page.
Definitely, and use the hashtag WeArePFL whenever you repost a story or in Facebook. Do use that hashtag. Will definitely help us promote the league that we have here, the PFL. Got a chance here! Just across the face of goal. The ball was begging to be slot in.
Yeah, that was
Adamu who was trying to get that in.
really good cross from Ruben Thiran. He'll be wondering how no one got on the end of that. And more of those crosses, you would think that Aguilas would have taken advantage of that.
And as it stands, almost coming to the half, it's still 1-0, which is a bit surprising. Aguilas has had most of the possession. They have a lot of shots in. They just have to be more clinical in the attacking third to get the cushion, the safety cushion.
Yeah, for Army naman, this is not ideal because they've already used up one substitution for a defender who got injured. Looks like a similar scenario will unfold here. Not ideal because you've already burned one substitution window. Again, you only get 3 the whole game. Oh, not too sure what's going on here. Some chiropractor action.
I think so.
Might be
His hand, maybe.
yeah, something dislocated.
That is the defender from Philippine Army. Hopefully he's okay. That is Jemark Cortez, the captain.
You definitely don't want to lose your captain. He is back up on his feet, so whatever thing was done on him looks like it was effective.
Bit of magic there. Maybe some tricks. No, Philippine Army. And a bit of fair play there. Throwed it back to Veray.
Well, Cortez is still holding his hand, so I'm not sure if he's fully fit, but he will continue.
Of course, he's a tough player, Cortez. But I do see the captain armband to Nestorio, so that's very interesting. New substitute. And then we're almost at the end of halftime. Overall, Aguilas showed display of dominance with possession, and Philippine Army trying to hold on. Tough challenge there. Another foul for Philippine Army. I think that was Ryan Anthony Decena.
Well, it's only a matter of time now before one of these set pieces are put away. Army not learning their lesson because yet again, it's a set piece in a dangerous area that they've given away.
A bit farther now from the previous one, from the Tony Cruz shot. But again, Aguilas has had that height advantage that they definitely capitalize on. It is, I think, Palpalatok who will whip this in. Delivers it in, but straight at the keeper. Is it a goal? It is! Beautiful shot, if I may say. Veray couldn't get his hands on it. And it is 2-0, Aguilas leading against Philippine Army.
Well, I think everyone was anticipating a cross, and lo and behold, it becomes a shot on target. Veray, the most surprised among anyone because he was expecting a cross, and he was unable to reach that. I think if he'll watch this back, might be a little bit disappointed in himself because there was a lot of height on this one. I think Veray would have... I think he was expecting the cross talaga. That's why he was so surprised at this. It curls, and the curl is really vicious. I think that's what beats the goalkeeper in the end.
What a goal there. It was so precise, just between the hands of Veray and the crossbar. Sobrang sakto niya. So, Palpalatok puts his name in the score sheet.
And I was saying Palpalatok has been very good defensively in this game so far, but there he is going forward, getting a goal, and that's now Aguilas UMAK FC's second goal this season, and it comes from Palpalatok.
That's the modern defender for you. Of course, you want your defenders to move forward, add more into that attacking play. A lot of bodies up front that will contribute to a chance in attack. So again, Palpalatok, good chance for him to go on the attacking front, but another collision there, the other side of the pitch. And I think this is expected from Army. Very physical players, a lot of fouls committed. But again, this is not in favor from them because Aguilas takes those chances on the set pieces.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to see if the referee is going to dish out any yellow cards. You've already given 3 this half and 2 have already gone to Army. Looks like none for now, but if you're Army, you do definitely want to listen to these fouls because the last one already punished them.
And you see, they're talking it out there.
I think Richard Talaroc's asking the linesman or the referee why there was no card given there.
Bakit? Hindi foul. You can see there. Aguilas trying to keep possession. You do. Back to the keeper. Threads it through the pass of Al-Mashuri, but couldn't find him. Throw in here in favor of Aguilas. Let me just say, Diallo, the center back, I think, has contributed a lot, looking for those through balls, playing it long, trying to find forwards like Al-Mashuri. And it is confirmed 2 additional minutes for this first half before it comes to a close. And it seems like another free kick here.
I think the referee got in the way of a pass from Aguila, so it's going to be a drop ball. Yeah, there it is.
It is. Moving forward, whips it in. Right, call to action. Diallo. Ooh, what a move. Ooh.
Well, if that went in, that would have been the goal of the season so far.
Everybody in the stadium, you could just hear the woo. Bit of a Holland type of strike there with the back of the foot.
Audacious stuff.
Ooh, great throw-in. Just couldn't get the proper touch there. Ibrahim Adamu.
Yeah, Army just asleep there. That was another risky moment for them. They do not want to concede right before the halftime whistle. Again, already 2-0 down. It's not ideal if they go even further down.
Oh, that is another yellow card. Super, super late challenge from Decena on Aspiras. Take a look at the replay there. You can see, I think Aspiras did a bit of a back heel. It was that late challenge that warranted him that yellow card. Screaming in pain there, Aspiras.
The reaction from Aspiras, I think that can tell you how much that hurts. And I think he was kicked at the point where there's no shin guard. So that's an even more painful moment there for Aspiras as we see the halftime whistle.
That is a halftime whistle. It is Aguilas UMAK FC 2. Philippine Army FC 0.
I think it's a really good half if you're an Aguilas fan. 2-0 up could have been a lot more. in truth. Had a lot of set pieces and a lot of nervous moments actually for Army. I think Army would be a little bit happier in a weird way that it hasn't been an even worse scoreline, because Aguilas definitely had the chances.
Definitely. Speaking of chances, you did have the Palpalatok goal there in the 42nd minute with a free kick on the left-hand side corner of the field. And you have Adamu in the 13th minute scoring that opener. Again, this is their first 2 goals again, for Aguilas UMAK FC. So they'll be happy with that one. And for Philippine Army, of course, been a difficult match for them. They're trying to hold on as much as possible. So with that said, this is halftime. You stay tuned for the second half. It's Aguilas UMAK FC versus Philippine Army FC. First half done and dusted. You have Aguilas UMAK FC leading 2-0 against Philippine Army. Diego, what a dominant display of force for Aguilas. You have Adamu scoring that opener and the first goal for the entire team actually, and Pal Balatok on the 42nd minute. What will you be expecting here in the second half?
A little bit of the same, probably. It was very one-way traffic during that first half. Aguilas UMAK FC dominating possession and belting the Army box. Here was the first goal, spilled by Viray, and it was capitalized there by Adamu. And I think it was the same story for the rest of the first half. A lot of chances for Aguilas. Could have been more than the 2-0 lead. I think if you're Army, you will want a better response coming into this second half. But at 2-0 down, you're already fighting an impossible uphill battle. And there was a lot of fouls also from the side of Army. There was one of them in that first half. A lot of the same type of set-piece foul giveaways from Army. It was only a matter of time before one of those went in. I think the second goal of Aguilas rather was from a set piece. So it was a lot of one-way traffic in the end in that first half.
Definitely Aguilas UMAK FC dominating that first half and looking to dominate as well in this coming second half. You see the chances are pouring down against Philippine Army, and Viray has been really busy. And here's the goal from Papalato, just precise with the shot there from the set piece. And again, Diego, you mentioned Philippine Army has been committing a lot of fouls, and this just gives opportunities for Aguilas to turn those set pieces into goals, essentially.
Yeah, and from all of those fouls, also Army gave away 3 yellow cards to their team, so that's also not ideal. That for this second half at least, they will have players on yellow cards. As we see the stats here, again, possession, one-way traffic, 65% to Aguilas. That's a lot, but the shot count is 14-1, which is really, really telling of what happened in that first half. 0 on target for Army and 9 for Aguilas.
And you see here, it has been a match filled with fouls. So you have 9 fouls on Army, garnering them 3 yellow cards, while Aguilas had 3 fouls and 1 yellow card. So it still might be a physical second half into this match. And also, do stay tuned later on. We have an exciting match, Diego.
Yeah, at 8:30 we have a showdown between the current second and third place teams. That's between Manila Digger and One Taguig. What a showdown that is going to be. 2 of the, I would say, title contenders showing down later tonight at 8:30.
So do stay tuned for that one. And you can see on your screens, you have Aguilas UMAK FC in their huddle here. Of course, head coach isn't here, but the team manager is. You'd want to keep this 2-0 lead. They are controlling this game. So and I think they're hoping to add more goals into this match. Well, Philippine Army definitely should have more attacking power opportunities. They've lacked on the build-up play, and it just seems that they'll do their best to get back on this match.
Yeah, we also want to give shout-outs to those of you who are currently in the group chat, or stream chat rather, and those of you who've always been there. So shout-out to, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but Yan Yu, Jonas Gregorio, El Carabao Ciclista, Eusebio, Barreto de Lima, Calvesef, Daibit, Tracy Meme, Ed Ball, and PFL Bible. And also special shout out to PFL Bible, who's really covering the PFL really well. I do love his content.
Same here. I follow PFL Bible, and they have all the stats, I promise you. And you can see here, Aguilas, the forefront, and attacking third. Ready to make a mark on this match.
Well, this is exactly how the first half went. It's similar to how the second half started.
See here, Diallo, who has been dangerous all throughout the match, feeds it in the middle, Aspiras. An opportunity there, an open shot, just couldn't get it below the bar, the crossbar, but a great opportunity nonetheless.
Yeah, I think if this is on target, it's a guaranteed goal. The power comes from the cutback from Diallo, and I think there's just a slight bobble, which is why Aspiras couldn't get it down in between the goal frame, but that was a really big chance to make it 3-0.
Aspiras screaming, saying dapat goal ko yun. But you still have a lot of opportunities against the Philippine Army.
Yeah, just on Diego Asperas, he's performed really well in this first half. Hasn't started or played in the previous 2 games, but well, actually I think he came on as a sub against Kaya, but he's made his mark on this game tonight.
Speaking of, we have a chance here, Diallo. Oh no. Diallo crosses that in the path of Ruvin Siran. He's thinking to himself, how come I didn't score that goal yet?
I think he's asking also for a corner, but the referee is not agreeing to that call. But that was a really big chance there. Good work again from Issa Diallo.
Diallo, who has been an attacking threat on the wing, been supplying his strikers. Another opportunity here for Aguilas in the middle. Will he take it? Fakes it. Boom! What a goal! Gets it in! Ibrahim Adamu, who's been looking, who's been taking a lot of shots, finally converts one. Beautiful shot there, Diego.
Yeah, he gets his second goal this game. Adamu with a really confidently taken finish, and he sent the defender with that fake shot. Absolutely no chance there for the goalkeeper, and all of a sudden it's now 3-0 to Aguilas UMAK right at the start of the second half. Here we see how that came about. Oh, actually this was the earlier miss, and yeah, it did look like a corner, but here was the goal. So much time and space in the penalty box, and the finish is clinical. So it's now 3-0 to Aguilas UMAK right here at the start of the second half.
Look at Adamu chasing that ball, wanting to score another.
By the way, before this game started, the goal difference of Aguilas UMAK was at -4. It's now at -1, so they're getting close to breaking even, finally, following their 2 opening defeats this PFL season.
That is a good sign for Aguilas UMAK FC. If you want to make it to the upper part of the table. And it's not looking good here for Philippine Army. Coming into the second half, a goal already conceded. The first 2 minutes of this half.
The Army just a little bit stunned at the start of the second half from Aguilas. Might be in again here.
Left side. Will he cross it in the middle? He does! Another goal! It is a hat-trick for Ibrahim Adamu. And look at that celebration. Oh! Straight from FIFA. Beautiful goal there, Diego.
Well, he pulled out the acrobatics in that celebration, but it's a hat-trick now. The perfect night out for Ibrahim Adamu. And now it's 4-0, so they finally break even on their goal difference. And only 50 minutes in this one, they'll be looking to score more, I'm sure. Relentless stuff from Aguilas.
What a cross there. Ruven Siran just putting it in front of Ibrahim Adamu. Look at that replay. Take a look at it wherever you want.
Yeah, here's the quad vision replay as featured from Upstream Sports. We love to see it. And here was the celebration, the acrobatics.
And can I just say, he's a pretty tall guy, so to be able to pull that off.
To be able to pull that off on a turf pitch, even more impressive.
Definitely. And Aguilas still hungry to score more. Another opportunity. Left side. Oh, fast feet there, but Chai Villasenor was up to it.
Well, the floodgates have opened for Army here in the second half. It could get even worse. Only 50 minutes in, and there's already been 2 goals in the opening half as we see the community continuing to flood to the Rizal Memorial Stadium. I do encourage all the fans to do the same. Again, all action here at Rizal every weekend.
Definitely a lot of matches here during the weekend. Ooh, opportunity there once more for Aguilas, and we do have a player down. And as of now, he is holding, I think it's mouth or face from that collision. Hopefully he's okay.
Shouting out our fans here. Hanyu, the X is just to make it cool. So shout out to you, Hanyu, Ian Fernandez, shout out to you, Justin Ray, and also Football PH for letting Upstream know if there are errors with the content uploaded. And I think these guys are also the people who handle the stats and transfer marked data of the PFL. So shout out to them because they do a lot of good work for Philippine football, but they might not get the credit they deserve. So shout out to them.
So definitely, you do have the behind the scenes to make it all possible. So we definitely appreciate that from them.
And I just want to say to these transfer marked warriors, I think I also get a lot of my commentary notes from them. So yeah, they do a lot of work for Philippine football. So shout out to them. I'm actually seeing also that Army are going to make changes. So it's been a nightmare start to this second half. So it's no wonder that substitutions are going to be made that look like handball.
That is handball for Al Mashuri, the right side there. And we do have here our substitutions. 3 players in, 3 players out. You have Miller Akiapat, Nestorio Margariz Jr., and Jomar Acedo going in. You have Palacio de Guzman and Celis substituted out.
Yeah, roll of the dice here from head coach Ronel Henner. Again, 4-0 is an uphill battle, but he is going to try to make changes to this match because at the moment, it's fully in control of Aguilas UMAK FC.
Asperas looking for Rovin Siran, but passes it back. Diallo. Throw in here.
Again, Diallo and Adamu making really good cases to be a part of the usual starting 11. Again, their usual starting 11 not playing tonight, but they started the first 2 games. And yeah, it's good from an Aguilas perspective that after rotating, the performance has still been really good.
Aguilas does have a difficult matchup in the next one, so of course they've rested some of their first 11 players. But here, a chance from Ibrahim.
Yeah, Damu flying with confidence now. He's going to take that chance even if it's from distance. But he's actually stayed down, so that's a bit concerning.
Yeah, he is holding on to that left leg of his. Pedia. And it seems like it is offside here for Philippine Army. And don't know, off screen, we have here the person with the hat-trick, Ibrahima Adamu, down. Do not want to see that.
Yeah, not ideal because he has just scored the hat-trick. So he's on fine form, but he's holding his calf, it seems. And Aguilas have already sent a substitute to warm up. So yeah, not good signs if you're Aguilas because you want all your best players fit. And he has been the best player tonight. So the fact that he is now picking up an injury might be a bit concerning. Again, their next game is against Maharlika. That's going to be a tough one. And they need all their best players fit.
Definitely. And again, you do have Maharlika in good form. They just won early this afternoon against Don Bosque Garedi United. And as of now, treatment, the magical spray for Ibrahim Damu. And oh no, a stretcher has been called here.
Yeah, not ideal because he has been performing really well. He's actually back up on his feet now, so the stretcher called halfway into the field. Oh, no, they've been called back once again. So they were going to him, then they were told they weren't needed. Well, he is on his feet, so I think the stretcher is just there as a precaution, but
we'll see.
Yeah, I don't think this is promising signs, so I think Aguilas are readying a substitution. There is a substitute vigorously warming up, so I would assume that he's the one who's going to come on. Asperas getting more instructions from the coaching staff. He has played really well, and I must say Asperas is a good player to watch because he does want to play forward. A lot of the times in the first half, he was playing passes in between the lines, in between the pockets, going forward. So it's definitely a promising young midfielder, very young actually. He is actually still eligible to play for, I think, the SEA Games squad later this year. He'll definitely want to play himself into that team. So another promising prospect to watch if you're a Philippine football fan.
Asperas important in this game. He's been feeding his forwards. Beautiful passes. And you can see, there you go. Hopefully, Ibrahim Adamu has a speedy recovery.
Yeah, all the recovery wishes to him. He did score a hat-trick, so despite his injury, probably the biggest case for man of the match in this one, but yeah, speedy recovery to him.
And a lot of time taken away from that event. We are underway here once more. Again, if you're just tuning in, my name is Vinny Vinculado with Diego. And it's 4-0, Aguilas leading, the 57th minute, and another foul committed from Army. And this has been the story ever since the first half. Army's been committing a lot of fouls, dangerous areas, and Aguilas do capitalize on these set-piece opportunities. And we might just see this one unfold.
Yeah, Aguilas. Actually, they might not be in a rush to take this one because they're currently down to 10 players. Again, still warming up their substitution for Adamu. So, no rush to take this one.
2 players behind the ball. Crosses it in the middle. Piray was there, but Asperas was chasing that one.
Oh, there's a yellow card.
Interesting. That was off the ball.
Looked like Palpalato. I don't know what that was for, but that's another yellow card. Second to Aguilas UMAK.
Another yellow card in this match. It's a match filled with yellow cards, Diego.
Yeah, and the 2 yellow cards to Aguilas UMAK means that this season so far, they now have 14 in total. That's only after 3 games.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of yellow cards after 3 games. So definitely a side of the game that the coaching staff of Aguilas will want to improve upon.
Army trying to keep possession. Great work there from Cortez. Passes it out wide. Medina. See signs of encouragement there to Philippine Army. Maybe they can get a consolation goal against Aguilas. The foul given here. The right side, Aguilas. Yalo, dangerous player, as we mentioned, Diego. Tries to out-dribble, just covering with his body. Great work there to keep the ball.
Yeah, if you're an Aguilas fan, you're probably saying, finally, our attack has clicked, because they made a lot of offensive acquisitions over the transfer window, and they didn't click in the first 2 games, but tonight, they have clicked. Of course, we also have on the bench the likes of the 2 Timor-Leste internationals, and actually, I want to point out that one of them, si number 11, si Mozinho, on the Aguilas bench, has been called up to the Timor-Leste national team, so he will play against the Philippines when they play in the new Clark City Stadium for the Asian Cup qualifier. So it's interesting that the only PFL international call-up is Timor-Leste, and he'll play against the Philippines. So football is definitely a small world in that regard.
It is, Diego. Yeah. Get out of danger. And you can see the 3 players at the bottom of your screen, substitutions from Aguilas. But a chance here! I think that was Diallo. Took that one, but off target.
Yeah, point blank range. I think he'll be really disappointed in himself that he didn't take that advantage. As we see here, 3 substitutions for Aguilas UMAK. I think they were at that moment still down to 10 men. It's finally going to be 11 versus 11 again after these substitutions.
You have 3 players: Arnel Amita, Kira Yamamoto, Olegar Fernando Malik Xavier coming in for Isa Diallo, Ibrahim Adamu, Mohamed Mishbal Al Mashuri subbed out. A lot of fresh legs, especially the attacking front for Aguilas, wanting to score more. We have Arnel Amita, of course, a very dangerous midfield player into this match. And a chance here for the substitute. Great work there. Army player down, but play goes on.
Yeah, the chance there fell to Malik Javier.
Chance here on the left side. It's a foot race. Great move here. Tussling for the ball. Army with the throw in, but we do have another player down. And it seems like a tough one. Look at that.
Yeah, not ideal for your Army. You've already had injuries in the first half, and again, their next game is against Taguig, so if the injuries continue to pile up, definitely not going to be an ideal start to the season for them. The game's actually going to pause here because the Army player down is going to receive treatment.
It's been a tough physical match. A lot of players hitting the deck from the tackles. You can see here the save. Great defensive work there. I think that's Chai Villasenor.
Yeah, bodies on the line for Villasenor. That was actually, it was Malik Javier, the substitute, who had the chance for Aguilas. Malik Javier, by the way, is actually another of the Timor-Leste internationals that Aguilas have acquired. And by the way, Villasenor is going to be stretchered off, so that's not ideal for Army. That another player is going to be injured. Again, in the first half, we already had an injury from Army. We have another here.
I think it's been 3 players overall who's been forced to be subbed out due to injury. It goes to show the physicality that we have here in the Philippines Football League. And of course, coming into this game, we did expect a lot of yellow cards from both teams. So we'll see if a Philippine Army will get a substitute in.
I believe they just called one from the warm-up area, so they're going to make a sub. I think they're going to be down to 10 men for the time being, so they might just slow down the game a little bit.
Throw in here for Army. Yeah, couldn't find anyone. Chance here on the break. Xavier pressing.
Looked like offside, but not called.
Called indeed. Great switch of play at the other side. Will he get it? Does. Straight to the hands of the keeper.
Mangawang, he's going to launch a counter-attack here looking for Malik Javier. Too much though on that one. Mangawang though, definitely the less involved of the 2 goalkeepers. It's been really easy for him, to be honest, and He's 30 minutes or so away from a clean sheet in the PFL in his debut for this club. So he will definitely want to close it out with a clean sheet.
Definitely able to look good in your stats. But a chance here, the left side. Army slowly trying to get the groove to this game, but just can't get through that attacking third.
Again, Army are down to 10 for the time being, so they have to be careful not to concede a chance at this moment.
Ball here with Aguilas. Is it a foul? It is in favor of the men in blue and red. I think a card was given. I think the card was given there.
I think it's Roy Kent Bedia of Army who got that yellow card. Diagonal from Asperas is too much though. Yeah, another yellow card for this matchup. A lot already in this game. 2 balls on the pitch here.
It is 67th minute here. Aguilas UMAK FC leading 4-0 against Philippine Army. You can see the yellow cards given for each respective team. Philippine Army 4 yellow cards and Aguilas UMAK FC with 2. Hopefully there won't be more yellow cards. Fresh off the bench, Alex Xavier gonna get a hold of that one. Tess clears it. Foul given. Tough challenges. Ref tried to play advantage.
Well, if we know one thing about Army, they are going to be full throttle when they go into those challenges. Is probably why they concede quite a number of fouls, but that is their identity at the end of the day.
Asperas.
And that's what I like about Asperas. He does just pass and move, keeps it simple and tidy, but it's really important for his team.
That pass.
Yeah, it's always like he always takes less than 3 touches. Really efficient.
That's what you need for a proper midfielder. Less time on the ball, more through passes, get the play on going, and another free kick here just outside the box for Aguilas. Another opportunity here for the set piece.
Yeah, that attacking play from Aguilas is too much to handle for the Army defense, and yet again, it's a set piece in an attacking position. It was Amita who won that one. I think he was the one dragged to the ground. Let's see if they can get this shot on target. Again, the second goal of this game did come from a set piece. Here's the foul. Good combination play. And there it was, Amita just dragged down by Roy Kent Bedia, who is on a yellow card, so he has to be careful not to concede any more fouls. You do not want to get suspensions. Again, Army's next game is against Taguig, so any more suspensions or injuries is not ideal for the white shirts.
Tough matchup there for Philippine Army. And behind the ball, Amita can take this one in. Take a look here. Will he go direct? He does! Off target from the midfielder.
Yeah, quite a close distance actually. Might have been hard from that angle to get the ball up and over the wall and down into the goal frame. Amita trying to find the top corner there, but unsuccessful. Interestingly, Amita looking like he's going to play as a striker. Usually seen as a midfielder, but he's camping right at the edge of the penalty box at this moment. Amita will definitely be eager to get a goal after last week, because for those of you who were not aware, missed a Panenka penalty kick against Taguig. So he'll be eager to prove himself after that.
Gusto niyang bumawi from that. Could have turned the tide of the game if he scored that one.
Again, Arnel Amita, a very experienced PFL player, was a part of Kaya, then won the gig, and has now signed with Aguilas. So he'll definitely be one of their crucial players this season. And funny story actually, when UMAK Aguilas returned to Philippine football top flight action in the 2023 Copa Paulinho Alcantara, they actually reached the final and nearly won, but they conceded a goal after taking the lead to Kaya, and it was scored by Arnel Amita. So it's a very small world in Philippine football, but Arnel Amita now finds himself as the captain of Aguilas UMAK.
And with his experience, his veteran experience, definitely lead his team, Aguilas. The upcoming matches, as mentioned, they do have very difficult games ahead.
Yeah, and again, in this league format, there's a lot of big games. So there's a double round robin. So basically that means every team is going to play against each other twice. That's a lot of fixtures, and you need all your experienced players to show up for you. So Amita will definitely need to do that there. Here he is, but he's actually offside. Yeah, but as I was saying, in this league format, every team is going to play a lot of games. So you need all the help you can get from your squad, and Amita will definitely be one of the stalwarts for Aguilas UMAK for this whole campaign.
Take a look at here again. It is clear offside for Arnel Amita.
Yeah, there we saw the offside trap again from Army. Again, they are one of the only teams that I've seen in the PFL to do an actual offside trap. It is a very risky game. You need extra concentration. It paid off there, to be fair to them.
No mistake here. Forces Viray to go outside of his box against Malik Javier.
Yeah, risky play there in their own penalty area. If you want to build up from the back, unang-una, don't lose it. And they nearly lost it there. Chance there for Malik Javier of Timor-Leste.
So, kick here for Army. Very high pressure from Aguilas, forcing Viray to send it over. Oh, great touch from Philippine Army. Just couldn't connect there to Medea.
Again, there's Asperas doing really efficient midfield work, and he's gonna run into the final third and get on the end of it.
Will he get it? Just muscled outside of the pitch. Arnel Amita with the ball. Passes it over. A lot of traffic. The mid area. Getting their passes in. Aguilas. We only have two players in the back from them. Intercepted. Almita gets it. Out-muscled there. Both teams struggling to keep possession. But now Aguilas has it. Ooh. Goes past defender. Fakes it. Great defensive work there from Belgira.
Yeah, still one-way traffic here in the 75th minute in the second half. Aguilas looking like they're chasing a fifth. And actually, if they do score a fifth, it would mean that their goal difference would finally be positive. So I think that's one incentive that they're playing with at the moment.
Definitely. Goal difference very important. The league table, just possible.
Yeah, one of those tiebreakers that can decide things.
Whips it in. What do we see? A header! Valiant effort there. Danger not over. Takes it. Great opportunity there from the substitute, Malik. Xavier, just outside the box, taking that shot in. Just looking. The left corner of the goal. Couldn't find it.
Yeah, good turn from him actually. might be a bit disappointed there that he didn't get the ball on target, at least test the goalkeeper. But again, Aguilas are chasing this 5th goal to go into the positive goal difference territory.
Is this offside? Alert Viray heads it out of danger. A chance here for Philippine Army, the left side. Maybe they could get a consolation goal into this match. To the right side, will he put it in the dangerous area? He does! Great defensive work there from Aguilas. Wanting to keep that clean sheet. And it seems like we do have a substitution here, Diego.
Yeah, it's Nathaniel Hancock, the Australian, coming on for number 3. That's Palpalatok. So Palpalatok, good night out for him. Ends the night with a goal, even though he's a defender. And here is Nathaniel Hancock, one of the promising signings for Aguilas. Again, from Australia, has experience playing, of course, in Australia, also in the Middle East, and he's now with Aguilas UMAK to close out this matchup for the next 30 minutes or so.
A lot of international experience as well. Bring it here, the Philippine Football League. Being substituted for goal scorer, Balatok. In a difficult night and for Philippine Army. Aguilas controlling the tempo, just trying to look for his winger and find him. Ball finds its way to Arnel Amita again. An opportunity here, he takes it. Oh, just inches wide of the post. Another chance there for Malik.
I think Kira Yamamoto, the right winger at the moment for Aguilas, is wondering why he wasn't played in. He was in acres of space and had a one-on-one opportunity had he been played in, but Javier clearly wants his goal.
He's controlling there. A bit shaky from Army defense. But high pressure from Aguilas. Clears it away. Thinks about taking it. Yeah, Mita. Ooh, tough challenge there. Once more from Jemark Cortez.
By the way, Jemark Cortez, one of those players on the yellow card, so I think the referee is showing him some mercy here by not turning that into a second yellow. Here's the tackle.
So close to the penalty.
Cortez, though, is really lucky actually there that the referee is not opting to increase his punishment. Again, he picked up a yellow in the first half, but anyway, the punishment might come either way because it's another free kick to Aguilas UMAK as we see the crowd here in the Rizal Memorial Stadium. Again, guys, do come here to the Rizal Memorial Stadium for all your PFL action. Games are every weekend, and you can catch it right here. Tickets are available at the venue.
Use hashtag #WeArePFL. Promote the league. Share your posts, Instagram stories, YouTube, Facebook. Back on the action, we do have a free kick here. Diego might go direct. He does! Great save there from Viray once more. Beautiful shot there, Diego.
Yeah, I think when Yamamoto hit this, from the moment it left his boot, he would have been thinking that's a goal. But Viray, who's, to be fair, he's conceded a lot of goals tonight, but that was a good moment there from the goalkeeper. Fingertip save at full stretch to deny Yamamoto.
We do have a corner kick here for Aguilas. They convert this and turn it into a goal. Whips it in. A header. The substitute, Hancock.
A chance there for Hancock. He is a really tall player. And one of the aerial targets, and I think that actually might have been his first touch off the bench. So could have been quite something if your first touch was a goal. But yeah, he is one of those tall players. Looks like an absolute unit from here.
He is definitely a dream for any player. Coming off from a bench, scoring with your first touch in the game. You only have 10 more minutes before full time. Maybe a couple of additional time. There were a lot of fouls, injuries.
Aguilas going direct there. Again, a very high line from Army. Playing with an offside trap requires extra care and attention and concentration. And because of that, you're also more susceptible to errors. But Army, to be fair to them, they've stuck with that philosophy.
Is it offside? Oh, it is. Good eye. The middle of the field. Cortez. Do see another substitute coming in for Aguilas. Seems like it's Ikumi Hiruta.
Yeah, another promising signing for Aguilas. He did play his youth in Germany, now with Aguilas UMAK FC.
See there, he was trying to lob it over, giving it to Malik, just too far.
I think fatigue starting to show now for Army. There's a couple players just cramping up at the moment.
Substitution is coming in. It is Abubakar Siddiqui Diallo subbed off. And Ikumi Hiruta subbed in. The ending moments of this match. And Diego, props to Diallo, who's had a really good game throughout the match. Contributed in both the defensive aspect, the attacking aspect of this game, and we just did see a high boot there. No card given. It was dangerous.
By the way, that's also Roy Kent Medina, who is already on a yellow card. So referee just giving him some mercy here. I think if the high boot made more contact, would have been a different story. But I think there was little to no contact there, hence the no need for the yellow card.
Yaramita. Oh, just beautifully lace it forward. Defense was there from Army. Another Army player who is down here.
And already had to substitute an injured player off twice. It's looking like it's going to be the third time where they need to do that. Again, their next game, won Taguig FC. So it's going to be absolutely brutal for Army that they have injuries going into that game. By the way, their schedule is absolutely relentless because they have to play a lot of the top teams after this. Again, they're still scoreless in the entire PFL, still pointless too. So following this result, it's looking like they're going to be rock bottom of the PFL table. Do struggle to see where they pick up points after that.
Tough season from Army, looking at their past results.
And they are going to make a change. Now I do wonder if that's injury related or fatigue related. And it's been absolutely one-way traffic for 85 minutes. So it's also a bit no surprise that the Army legs are starting to give out. Really fatigued. at the moment. I think this was mentioned by our colleague Jing Hamlang that Army might have participated in the Philippine Army Olympics. So it's a competition between enlisted men in the Philippines. I think our colleague Jing Hamlang pointed out that some of these athletes may have participated in that. So do wonder if that's a factor as to why there's a lot of fatigue in this Army team at the moment. Again, they actually didn't play last week, so one would have thought there would have been more rest in them, but seemingly very tired following this matchup.
Despite the 1 week rest, Philippine Football League, of course, very intense. You have to give a lot of energy to this game. And nauubos na dito, slowly, ang Army. Hopefully, he has a speedy recovery. I think that's Chai Villasenor. And it is John Robert Solen. Will be substituted in. Feeling that back four hole. Tries to get it through.
The first involvement there for Solen, clearing out that attack, but Aguilas seemingly still searching for their fifth, and it would be the goal that takes them into a plus goal difference.
Floats it in a box in a dangerous area. That was jersey number 47, Jemark Cortez, who heads that away from danger.
Yeah, that's actually a very good defensive header there, because the taller Malik was right behind him, and seemingly Malik really wants his goal off the bench tonight. He has a few more minutes not to get his.
Malik has had a couple of shots already, and I think it's a bit of altercation here. Hancock with an Army player. I think that's Miller. Kiapat with the taller Hancock. You can see the height difference. Whips it in. Aguilas. Ooh, Hancock, and it's a goal. Taking advantage of that height.
Well, as you're talking about the height advantage, he makes it pay off. He didn't even need to jump, the center back. So that's a goal off the bench for the defender, Nathaniel Hancock, and that goal puts Aguilas UMAK FC into +1 goal difference. So they finally broke even and into the positive goal difference territory. Here's the corner. There, Hancock barely jumped. He is already taller than his opponents, so it's absolutely no surprise that his height advantage gets him a goal.
Great cross there from Bukit. Hancock, all he had to do was head it in. Puts his name in the goal sheet. And safe to say, Diego, Aguilas will be running away with 3 points in this match.
Yeah, their first 3 points of the season. They'll be feeling that they were hard done by against Kaya, and then they'll be disappointed with their 1 Taguig performance, but they'll be relieved after tonight that finally they've broken their first 3 points this season. And they're gonna do it most likely with a clean sheet.
That's good signs if you want to push into the top 4 for Aguilas UMAK FC. Again, they've invested a lot on players, the coaches. You have a revamped squad here. And I think it's a foul on Aspiras. And it is confirmed, Diego. Additional 4 minutes into this match. And another free kick opportunity here for Aguilas. Once more.
Yeah, whatever happens from this point onwards, it's been the perfect night out for Aguilas UMAK FC. They might chase a 6th here.
They are here at the right side. 1v1. Gets through. Will he cross it? He does. Army player was there.
Robust challenge from Diego Aspiras. He's gonna say that he got the ball, but I think he got a lot of the man as well.
Here once more in the replay.
Well, he will argue that he got the ball there, but I think the referee just saying that the force of that play was too much, and that's why the foul was given.
Did hit his foot there, clipped him. But of course, these Army players are tough. Back on his feet, I think that is Bedia.
And just on Diego Aspria, so no goal for his performance tonight, but he's had a really good display in that midfield, acting as the metronome for Aguilas UMAK. Seemingly didn't lose the ball tonight in the full 90. Some good performance from him.
A chance here. Opportunity, Arnel Amita. Passes it back, takes it, just hits the crossbar. Ruben Siran. Arnel Amita is happy to lay it in front of Ruben Siran.
Yeah, unselfish there from Amita. Could have taken it himself. Opted to find a teammate, and Ruben Tiran will be feeling really unlucky that he couldn't make it 6 for his team. Denied by the frame of the goal. I think that might be the last big chance of this game. But either way, that was, or this has been, the perfect performance for Aguilas UMAK FC.
Hopefully they'll bring this performance of the upcoming matches. It's pretty tough matches for Aguilas.
Yeah, again, their next game against Maharlika, so that's another team that won earlier today. So Aguilas will be hoping that following this win, they'll climb the table even more. By the way, this win would take them to around mid-table. So finally, they're no longer in the bottom two. But if they begin to rack up the wins, they would climb the table even further. And that's what any big team would want.
Aspiracio on the right side against Cortez, feeds it in the middle. Hancock asking for the ball. Will he head it? Is it a goal? Just over crossbar there. Hancock looking for a second.
The substitute center back, I have no idea what he's doing in a striker's position, but I think if he watches this back, he'll be thinking he could have gotten a second goal. Because, as you mentioned, any aerial ball into him, he is a massive player, so it is a good chance for him to get on the score sheet.
Army doing their best to not concede anymore in this match. Trailing 5-0.
By the way, Army's goal difference before this game started at -13. It's now going to be -18. So not ideal after only 3 games to concede 6 goals on average every game. They'll definitely want to pick up on their performances. But again, their next game is one Taguig.
Oh, what a pass there. If the right get to it, he does. Arnel Amita was chasing it. Fast play here. Oh, smart move there. Crosses it in. Danger not over for Army. Maybe they could just get a consolation goal.
Last play.
Last play it is, Diego. Couldn't get it. Referee's still not blowing his whistle. Maybe a Hail Mary here from Philippine Army. We do have a down player off screen. And there it is, Diego, full time. Strong display from Aguilas UMAK FC, a statement to other teams. Scoring 5-0 against Philippine Army. What a match.
Yeah, after their first 2 matches, Aguilas UMAK FC would have been very, very determined to get up and running for this season. They finally do it, and they do it in a strong fashion. So 5-0 win, a hat-trick for Amadou, who unfortunately went off injured, but nevertheless a good performance from him. Yeah, there you see the goal times. So they were spread out across the whole 90, and that just tells you the full story. For the whole 90, it was one-way traffic from Aguilas UMAK FC. They'll be very happy with this performance going forward. here were the highlights. So a lot of chances created by Aguilas UMAK FC. Could have taken a lot more. Here was one of those goals. What a finish there from Adamu. That was his second goal. And then I think just a few minutes later, he got his hat-trick goal.
And yeah, he did have that celebration. But this is the third goal we're talking about. Just guides it in the goal there. Adamu, great performance from him. Look at that celebration. Acrobatic Adamu. But hopefully he'll be better. He must speedy recovery.
Yeah, definitely tonight's man of the match, Adamu. Aguilas will be hoping that he's okay going forward for the rest of their season, because again, for those of you who missed it, he did go off injured, but nevertheless a man of the match display tonight, and he was definitely the crucial point in getting the 3 points.
Definitely, and you can see Philippine Army just really struggling against the onslaught of attacks. You have there Malik taking that shot on, and a lot of set pieces from Aguilas.
Yeah, one of the common trends tonight were the numerous set piece chances of Aguilas. Again, they took their second goal from one, and in general, a lot of attacking play and a lot of defensive fragility, it must be said, from Army. Here was Hancock's goal, the substitute, using his height and strength, not even jumping that high, but he gets that header on goal, and that's why it's been a dominant attacking display from Aguilas UMAK FC.
That said, Diego, again, this is Aguilas UMAK FC getting the 3 points against Philippine Army, 5-0. Again, my name is Vinny Vincolado, alongside Diego Cordero. Do stay tuned. We still have an upcoming exciting match. Again, this is PFL. See you guys in the next match.
Just a shout out lang to the fans.
Okay, go. This is a game where we wanted to bounce back after the first two defeats. I mean, the only thing that was going through my mind is we need to play well. We need to play the style of football that we know how to play, because the last two games we didn't really play our game. So this game, I feel like it was all about getting that momentum, trying to build and get ready for the upcoming games, because we really plan on winning the league. So we have to make a statement. I think we all know that we have to play better. We need to convert our chances. But I say this is a good stepping stone for the team, and we just have to keep moving forward.
And what's your message for the Aguilas UMAK FC fans?
Please come support us.